I got two problems. One is low power, and the second is the warmth and humidity of the area. It has a tendency to break the phone down and turn the phone off because of overheating, which it is what it is. I'm only a couple hundred kilometers down from the temple, and I just had to stop again because I thought, you know what, Joe, you're gonna have to go with the flow here. There's another smaller temple, and then there's a few homes scattered about. So let's take a look around. This is all new construction. That bridge is kind of old, but they're building another road on the other side here to go through and down this part of the canal slash river. So this is new construction. It's connecting to a road here, and it's nice and shady. More of these huge palms, and what they did is, you can see how they constructed the cement around the trees. That's cool. Some big old coconuts there, and you got to be careful you don't be at the wrong place at the wrong time, and one of those babies falls and conks you on the head. Nice shady spot. Just more pleasantness. They've really done a nice job constructing this area. Little lamp posts, so at night you could probably get it. Well, they should have more tables and chairs out here, but you could get your own portable chair, come out here at night, come out here during the day, where it feels much more pleasant here in the shade. Nice little railing, newer construction, newer roads. And we can look at a little bit of Vietnamese home architecture, some of the homes here as well. Some people, this is probably not a good example, but the French colonial architecture, you kind of get an idea with it blended in with the Vietnamese, like the tiled entryway here and gates and things like that. Really nice little area here. Very well kept home. Some of these houses lack air conditioning, but you just throw open your doors. Some of these homes are quite old. Throw open your doors, let the breeze, if any, come through. In the mornings and in the evenings, it cool the house down. My wife's parents have an area as you approach their village community that is also quite pleasant. They've built tiled walkways and railings along the canal river system that flows through there. And it's quite nice and quite pleasant as well, similar to this. You can see her colorful conical hat. So they're doing further improvements to this little pocketed area here, and it's quite nice. This is that other thing that I was telling you about, getting out of the city areas and getting into the countryside, into the villages that lie outside of the city areas. Excuse me. And you'll get stuff like this. You'll be able to enjoy and explore and discover areas like this. Somebody's got their little fishing boat right here. Looks like it's a aluminum hull and then a wood bracing around it. Nice little boat. Looks very, very well made and serviceable. With the e-bike, could really go to town here, but as it is, because I've used a significant amount of time vlogging, I'm going to finish this vlog and then I'm going to wrap it up and head on back. What happened was, I'll tell you this real quick. I originally departed this morning on the e-bike, and as I was about 100 yards from my house, look at these swans. There were two white swans swimming in the canal. Looks like they made their way to the other side and they climbed up and are heading towards a home. And the derailleur on my e-bike snapped right off. Just incredible. The plastic part that connects it to the bike, or connects the derailleur to a piece to the bike, snapped right off. Now, I've had that e-bike for about 3 years, maybe a little over 3 years, and I was like, well, that takes care of that. Even though the e-bike has a throttle, and I could have throttled out here and not used a lot of battery, I was like, oh crap. I was headed to the beach again this morning to get a swim in because it's just a perfect day for it. So instead, I walked the e-bike back to the house, and I jumped on the manual bike, and I was like, oh, I'll just take a little spin, get a little exercise in, and then come on home. Well, that's kind of what I'm doing. I could have taken the e-bike out here, but I got to take it in now to have a new derailleur placed upon it, so I can get that back in action. I wasn't upset about it. And the reason I wasn't upset is because I have beat the living crap out of that e-bike. I mean, I've treated that e-bike very badly, even though I have deep appreciation for it. I beat the crap out of that e-bike. I've taken it places where one should not go, and it's done an excellent, outstanding job. And that e-bike, I get a really good range on it with the battery life, and that e-bike has done very well. And the e-bike, e-bikes commonly in the United States, they're getting a little cheaper, but from my understanding, they start at like $2,500, $1,500, $2,500, and they just go up in cost from there. That e-bike which you have seen me utilize, which I have beaten to the point where the derailleur snapped today, cost me $700. I mean, you cannot beat that. If I were to just throw it in the garbage heap today, I would have gotten way more than my money's worth out of it. As it stands, I'll just take it to the local bike repair shop, have them throw on a new derailleur, and I'll be back in business. I I wanted to sneak over here. Yeah, right over here. Without being too obtrusive. Looks like somebody's running some kind of a wood shop over here. Yeah, they've got a wood shop back here. Now, as I mentioned to you, that bamboo can be utilized for building just about anything. But some of this equipment back here is quite old, but it does work, and they'll use pallets and any kind of wood. You know, let it sit back there, let it age in some respects, age and harden. And, you know, this guy is probably making furniture and tables and chairs and all kind of stuff. My wife's uncle, one of her uncles, is a wood craftsman and an excellent carpenter. And he's got a place like that at his house. And he's like excellent. Fantastic carpenter. I've seen some of his work and it's just been really great. I'm only going to creep in here a little bit because I'm not sure. I can't remember if I enter the temple grounds if I'm supposed to remove my shoes. I'm going to take a chance. Beautiful planters and trees and some bonsai. Oh, a lily pad pond. My God, is this fantastic or what? Look at these, almost like a pine needle kind of deal. Just fantastic. Definitely gives, every time I come out here, I'm like, I get the idea that I need to start incorporating some of this into my garden, into mine and my wife's garden. So this video is going to serve for us as an example of some things that we can do further. And that looks like Chinese script. More of the woodwork. Look at this. Oh, it's just fantastic. You know, it gives off a nice feeling of ancientness. Oh, how awesome. Just, I can't say it enough. This has been quite the discovery today. I'm going to sneak back here. just for a quick second because there's a water feature here. And there's this huge Lady Buddha wood carving. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah. There's ladies in here that are chattering away, and I see like a hospital bed. Kind of odd. There's benches and the rail. So I don't know exactly what they're utilizing this space for. This is very similar to our front wall of our home. Get out of here. Well, some days you just take a bike ride and you end up discovering something amazing. And that's what happened today. And this spot is about 20 to 25 minutes at most from the house. If you were really motivated, you could literally walk out here, walk to this area in about an hour. Yeah. That's how close to home it is. And I mean, it's so peaceful and quiet and pleasant that, you know, I don't want to leave. I could hang out here all day. Just come out here to some of the spots I showed you earlier. Do a little fishing. Have a little lunch. I mean, mentally and emotionally and spiritually, even though I'm a believer in Jesus Christ, so I'm anti-Buddhism, but I can still feel the spiritual serenity of this little area here where you have the temples and things like that. They're putting new electrical in to the area, new electrical wire, new electrical boxes, some additional street lights. So there's a significant amount of infrastructure improvements that are taking place within this pocket, and I can only hope that it continues on, you know, as far out as is necessary. Let me step out here real quick and do a zoom. You can see the guy hooking up the updated electricity infrastructure. Looks like it's very well done. So they're doing a good job. All right, I'm gonna head on home and download these vlogs. I've really been put into a very good mood today just based on this journey. And I feel really good. And I've really started the day off in a really good manner. And we got one horn blow to end the vlog. But that's okay. Yeah, what an excellent morning. And I'll continue on and hopefully have an excellent day, which is not hard when you're retired and you're an expat and you're living in Vietnam and you really get to enjoy being out now for almost a year into the farmland, the rural areas of the country, away from the cities, away from the tourism, away from the noise and chaos, and in my opinion, the stupidity of the city areas, generally just about anywhere you go in the world. This is far more preferable in terms of a lifestyle. You'll see a lot, well, you won't see a lot, but if you were to check out, like, expat living in Vietnam, for example, you'd see a lot of jackasses vlogging about how awesome it is to live in Da Nang or Hoi An or Ho Chi Minh City or Hanoi, which is, to me, is total crap. I'll never live in a city again. My bones are going to rest out here. I'll be living the rest of my days out here, which is like so much better. But you see a lot of vloggers, a lot of Western tourists and expats vlogging from Vietnam who don't have a clue about what it's like to live out here in the rural countryside and to be encapsulated within an authentic cultural experience and lifestyle in Vietnam. Getting an apartment in the city of Da Nang and hanging out at the beach and drinking cheap beer and sitting back and going, wow, I can live like a cheap bum in Vietnam. Isn't that great? That is not an authentic experience. That annoys me. I despise it. I'm quite fortunate to have been able to set myself up into this kind of an environment. Thank you once again for checking out my vlog. I hope you've enjoyed exploring this little pocketed area as much as I have. And I can't wait to download it and get it out on YouTube for you to enjoy. Thank you very much for tuning in. Hope you're all safe and well.